Funding and awareness is to thank for the tremendous strides in one of the deadliest diseases, pancreatic cancer. Here to share more on a new chapter being established in Charleston is Meg Sawyer-Doling, Sponsorship Chair for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What inspired you to start a chapter here in Charleston?
Well, like a lot of, unfortunately, families dealing with pancreatic cancer, my father passed away in January 2019.
I'm sorry.
After a year-long battle, chemotherapy, radiation. It was very fast, and there, unsurprisingly, are a lot of families like that here in Charleston and in South Carolina that experienced something very similar. And so we've all sort of come together over the past couple of years to develop this affiliate with the goal of hopefully helping other families find better outcomes and more time with their loved ones.
Whenever someone receives a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, it usually means there's a very short prognosis. But things have improved, all because of fundraising efforts, because of awareness and things like that. So what are we looking at now versus what we've seen in history?
Sure. Well, it's come a long way. When my dad was diagnosed, the survival rate was less than 10% for 5 years past the diagnosis date. And we are now at 12%, which is a big improvement, especially knowing the amount of people who will be diagnosed this year, over 64,000 people in the US. Mm-hmm. So that is a huge improvement. And I think we are really taking that momentum and trying to put it into accelerated treatment options for pancreatic cancer patients, early detection efforts to try to find an effective, quick screening method, things like that, so that by 2030, we're closer to 20%.
Yeah. Did the doctors ever say about how long your father had pancreatic cancer before he was actually diagnosed?
A long time.
He
did?
Long time.
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what were the symptoms that finally got him to the doctor?
A lot of abdominal pain, some mid-back pain, indigestion, and I think that's part of the issue with pancreatic cancer is in the early stages, the symptoms are not necessarily obvious. Mm-hmm. They're things that you might experience on a daily basis. They're sort of trivial ailments that get worse over time, and so they're not something that make you think pancreatic cancer immediately.
And what kind of a test does a doctor perform to know whether or not you have it? Because, you know, it's one thing to go in for a battery of tests and to get screened for absolutely everything, but how do they go about doing so to pinpoint what was wrong?
Sure. Unfortunately, that is part of the problem right now. We don't have a simple, effective screening method to go in quickly and figure out that that's what it is.
Like a blood test or something that just can cross the whole gamut.
So there's scans, there's blood tests, there's a whole slew of different tests that go into making that final diagnosis.
Okay. And is it always fatal when someone is diagnosed with pancreatic cancer?
It is not always fatal, and that is the good thing right now. We are seeing improvements. There are procedures that can be really effective if the cancer's caught early. There's a Whipple procedure that a lot of patients are able to utilize if it's caught in the early stages, and we're seeing a lot more clinical trials coming up with new treatment options, more personalized, targeted treatment options, and so it's not necessarily always fatal, and our hope is that in the future, when you do get that diagnosis, that's not the immediate gut reaction.
Now, the fundraising efforts that you've got coming up, you do have something happening in April, so tell us more about that.
Yes, we have a very exciting event. It's called Purple Stride. It is the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network's signature fundraising event, and it is a family-friendly walk, and the purpose of the walk is ultimately to end pancreatic cancer. So we raise funds for PanCan's life-saving work, all of the personalized free support services that they offer patients, clinical trials, research efforts, patient advocacy efforts, that sort of thing. And then I think most importantly, the main goal is to raise awareness. And so our hope, especially our affiliate being a newer affiliate here, is to build a community here, a support system, so that people know not just about pancreatic cancer, but about PanCan and the services that it provides, the resources, that sort of thing.
And to raise $100,000. So that is the other goal, people. Purple Stride, South Carolina. It's happening Saturday, April 29th. Opening ceremony begins at 8:30 a.m., so be there. I want to thank you so much, Meg, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're back after this.